unmatched.
What do you go for here? I think you really need to have plan C. It is BOE, by the way.
Okay.
They chose the map.
You called it, so perhaps that assassination comp coming in. What do you really go for, though? I mean, we see pretty much every draft look at least somewhat similar, with focus on, I guess Genji is mostly left open. I would expect to see Hanzo banned, but I always expect to see that and it never happens. So, one step at a time, we'll find out what is the what's the secret sauce here for Ace. How do they win? I remember watching that great movie that everyone should have seen, Space Jam, right? And
Isn't that like super old?
It is.
Black and white?
Almost. It does have Looney Tunes in it, but all I'm trying to say is when the World All-Star team was down against the Monstars, they're cheating it up, how do you come back? That MJ's secret stuff. What's the secret stuff for Ace? They're looking around there, they find like one sports drink bottle and they try it. It's like, no, that's not it. That was game 1. Game 2, they get to try another bottle, but much like in Indiana Jones, if you don't drink from the cup that is the Holy Grail, you die.
Oh, and moving away from your
I'm
story,
combining like movies from different decades here, G-Clef, but the metaphors stay the same.
You are the movie critic, guys. We do have a snipe ban onto ETC this time that says, no, San, your ETC is pretty good.
He's pretty good.
I admit you're pretty good, so had to ban it. It's worth giving up Hanzo. We gave up in game 1 anyhow, so might as well just ban ETC. I think it's not the worst choice for Ace here as going into game 2, as they also picked up their favorite Greymane and Tyrael, so I think overall it works out okay for
You
them.
see a lot of this Greymane Tyrael, not just from Ace, but we saw it in our first series as well. Seems to be a pretty common way of dealing with, one Shimada brother being banned, you look for the second one, and it's the common double pick afterwards. But
Mic is fixed.
okay,
Don't worry, guys.
Sweet. Couldn't hear you there for a second.
Oh, really? Well, here Uther, they're trying to pair it up, and the common choice was Anubarak. Anubarak would be on OK too against the Sanctification also, so I don't see why not. The question is, do they really need that CC? Because once you go in on your own, you kind of separate yourself away from the back line, which is Hanzo. And even in game 1, Ace was diving in to get the kill onto Hanzo. I think their DPS line, their damage output was not insane, but okay level to get few kills. Their teamwork was alright. I think they were just out-leveled in big time. But maybe in this one, when they have a fair matchup, maybe they can do it this time.
I mean, at some point you have to realize, well, we tried to dive the back line and it didn't work. So maybe we should either not try that and go for a comp that, has other win conditions, or double down and just go for a crazy dive to try to take Hanzo out. It's going to be tough, to say the least. We'll see what comes through in the second ban phase now. What Ace want to take off the table, they've already let through, some would say, some of the most fearsome heroes, and Jaina taken out.
Not the most obvious one, but I'm pretty sure Tempest was thinking of a mage, at least. Taking one of the targets out, and Tempest seems like they want to focus a little bit more onto their solo lane, as Good does not really... He did play a few times, and on this map too.
Doesn't feel comfortable with the Malthael.
Maybe not today. Maybe thinking of something else. Not Osodia, of course.
Don't say of course, G-Clef. I mean, Tempest has played Sonya, even post-nerfs, and done well with her. Could be another day for that. I mean, honestly, as Tempest, you have to know that you're coming into this being a favorite team. I mean, you're talking about sort of the foregone conclusion interviews earlier. They have to consider that. And while it's always a good idea to respect your opponents, regardless of who you play against, it'll be interesting to see what they come through with, because perhaps there are more choices open to them in this series than there may be in others.
Yep, and here we have Malfurion and Tracer. I think that's exactly what they have been preparing against the Ace, against Tempest tonight, as Tracer can be deadly onto Hanzo.
Yep,
and
great.
Going to be much harder to poke safely from backline, as Tracer will just blink in, have just melee you, get that pulse bomb on your face, and then try to get that kill along with Grey Mane sometimes. And though their first 2 picks does not really pair up perfectly with the second 2 picks, still I think it provides some CC, which they lacked on right now. And with their last pick, if they are able to have a solo lane, I think they're just going to finish up with Blaze, providing some more CC and sustain.
Wouldn't be a bit surprised. There's the Cassia against Greymane, not really a huge surprise, but taking Blaze away, I think Tempest kind of saw that coming.
By banning Martial there, I think you are right on the money there. And here, the question is, what else do I play? Leoric, does that really pair up with what we have? Can be an okay tool, but that means we do have to go for that Twilight Dream if we want to pair those up.
Well, Ace have a lot of dreams.
Dehaka with some CC, that's possible. But do we really need Dehaka with the silences? With isolation, of course, bringing that silence. Can go towards that global a little bit. A 2-lane map, much smaller. Tempest can just have an easy rotation. So it is going to be Leoric at the end, just going for that safe pick.
Yeah, I mean, Leoric does seem like the safe option, both here and in our other games that we've seen. But he, he doesn't offer that sort of wow factor, the secret sauce, the comeback potential for Ace. Maybe the way to win is playing solid, but I feel like lots of other teams have tried that against Tempest, and needless to say, it has not worked out so well. They have yet to lose a best of series. They've dropped a couple of games, but not against Ace.
Yep, they have a theme. Ace certainly does have a theme. I don't think it's completed. Maybe they were thinking of something else. It didn't really work out.
Theme?
I think some more CCs. A few more CCs. I think Leoric was not the right one for them. I think maybe Sonya could have been a better one, just providing some more damage. More damage when that pulse bomb hits. If it paired with along with a poison spear coming from the side, it would definitely be a kill, or at least draw out the divine shield from Uther.
Well, they have the CC that they have. These are both of our teams here. Tempest versus Ace, game number 2. Coming up, Ace exiting their base, and at least for now, the playing field is even, G-Clef.
And you are really play-by-play caster.
I'm literally saying everything that's on the screen. I mean, we could talk about the deep and intrinsic strategy of the early game. The nature, how will they remain calm under pressure? Are they, here's my favorite one, are they hungry to win, G-Clef? What does that mean? Is it just a Snickers advertisement? Who knows? But what are both teams looking for here? The answer, of course, is to win, but you still ask the question because you're not sure. Many possibilities for early game commentary.
Yes, I like Pop-Tarts.
Okay,
yes.
Same as well.
So Tempest, because they have wave clear, and not just wave clear, Ace does also at the same time, but the poke war has been going to Tempest big time. They also have Hanzo, of course. Not just that, Cassia's Q would be doing extra damages.
Oh, nice stun on the Witcher. Immediately heads right back on out. I don't think either team really expects too much of this. And honestly, for Ace, they're sitting here with a Hanzo on the other side, so I'm not sure you can really hope for too much.
But at least Leoric is doing okay lane against Blaze. I don't think we're going to see a solo kill at all. Of course, that top lane was just, it's just going to be, let's wave clear, guys. Is it your turn or is it my turn? Okay, I guess we'll just go together and wave clear and then go back. And maybe I'll tap onto the fountain, but I have sustain, so it's okay. But it's a lot more about this bottom one. Even though this one's not going to be super effective, there's no ETC for that big power slide. Of course, Ace does have some pair up with CCs. With Pulse Bomb, maybe they can look for a kill, but may not even be possible with Blaze coming in with the counter punch. So not much of action going through. Look at that Hanzo damage so far. Almost 8k already, 2 minutes in game.
Getting started early. Wow. We're really making our observer work overtime this game, G-Clef. He's successfully shown us the bottom lane. Witcher keeps really scaring me. Moving forward very, very aggressively. Of course, knows that there's no real risk just yet. Sign comes in from the side. It's just menacing. Ha! I'll scare them this time. It never works.
Yeah, just going to be poking in and out, as I think it comes to a time about now where they're not even going for camps. They are really trying to pressure in, trying to poke as much as possible. Now for both teams.
This would work a lot better if towers still
Are
had
they going
ammo.
to lane forever, not even touch on that Immortal? This is a new game. Maybe this is
I mean, the
Bronze
Immortals
Beard
fight by
level.
themselves, right? They'll just take care of business.
Yes, they do no damage. I don't know why.
This is the Federation mentality. They're not allowed to get involved in other affairs. They just stay in the lane where they belong.
Finally, Hanzo's already not over there. Thought Hanzo already went there, but
Nope.
providing the extra wave clear, as basically any team, both teams do have the racing potential onto the Immortal. Not doing too much, of course, now. And Uther dies off screen for some reason.
Wait, what? How?
I think it was just last bit of cocktail damage, possibly from Greymane. That's why we see Greymane.
Okay.
Here. As we see Hanzo trying to lock in. As the
Oh,
lockdown
Witcher!
goes down, but that's going to be a trade.
Trade.
But more kills for Ace, of course, with the CC coming in. Dami is going to be the
Oh,
next
Dami.
one. Falling down. Was it worth staying this long in this lane when they have the pokes from Hanzo to go for that Immortal? I know the first Immortal does not do too much of a damage, so I think Tempest, they knew even if they lose that Immortal, pushing the wave could have been a lot more favorable to them because they have Hanzo even as a defensive tool.
Right.
I think that's why they didn't go for it. But still, for fighting that long, losing Uther, I think that was a big one. We didn't really catch that on camera.
Yeah, it was pretty anticlimactic. It's like, well, you kind of know what's going to happen. Hey, Cassia death. One more dead Cassia. I'm sure lots of Greymane mains are pretty happy about that one. But still, a kill is not going to be as impactful as claiming the first Immortal. And finally, we've left the laning phase, G-Clef.
Finally, we have no, except for Cassia,
Okay.
who went back to lane. Who
Doesn't want any more of these team fights. You die if you team fight, so just go back to the lane phase.
Not the best position from Hanzo to do poking damage. Now he is. Tracer is just going to blink away. That oil's going to provide some slow. Lockdown does have D and does go away. And meanwhile, Cassia and Greymane has been soloing the duel. At the bottom lane, here comes Tracer, but very low. Does that pulse bomb? Looking for those kills. That's pulse bomb, and that's going to be first kill onto Hanzo. And the second, almost the second one onto Good. 2 kills for Tracer.
Hanzo Good down. The rest of Tempest disengage. Now, I mean, this is going to be an Ace Immortal.
Yeah, and not only that, they won the team fight basically because of Tracer. Not because Tracer ate lots of the damage, and that regrowth 20 seconds over time healing is pretty powerful with Malfuri, and I think it's really becoming the pair. Not because of the healing amount, there's no burst healing, so it's not really too great for Tracer, but the CC, it really makes it easier for Tracer to hit that pulse bomb almost 100% if that CC connects. I think that's why we're seeing lots of Malfuri and Tracer pair here.
Certainly is. A little bit too early to call just yet, but certainly Tracer putting in the work that she needs. Now, Immortal on the bottom side. You were saying earlier that maybe the first Immortal doesn't matter too much. Breaks down a wall. It's not that consequential. Losing its shield already.
Well, it's gonna break into the fort. I don't think it's going to do any damage. Yeah, see the damage coming out from Hanzo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ah, doesn't even get one hit off on the fort.
Does get the fountain, so that's
Feels bad, Immortal.
Gets the pressure off of the solo lane a little bit, but now after, well, they have swapped to the bottom lane anyhow, so it doesn't really matter too much. And in this case? Are they trying to... Okay, they were trying to ambush him Leoric at once because they were very likely to lose. As Ace hits 10, they were going to go for the top camp. So a Tempest stack initially made that rotation to the bottom for the camp, I thought for a second. But they have rotated up here as maybe they were thinking of defending the fort instead of taking the bottom camp. It was going to be a big rotation anyhow.
That's right. I guess Ace just hate people a little bit more than everyone else, prioritizing that. Putting the Impalers up top while the rest of the team makes their way towards the bottom half of the map, trying maybe to prevent that camp from being taken. Good. Wants no part of any of that, but will at least relay the information. And that's top camp and now maybe bottom camp being taken by Ace. Yes.
Level 10 finally hit. Let's see what Tempest... Okay, nothing too crazy, as I was thinking possibly for a Divine Storm, but not going to be happening this time as they have nothing else to protect themselves other than the bunker. Going to be a fort trade. Do they want to push in a little bit more as Tempest? I think they do have the speed.
Not a whole lot a Lonely Blaze can do down there to defend. Same situation for Rush up top. So just kind of trading. I mean, and honestly, if you're a team like Ace, getting equal trades isn't the worst thing that you could do. So at least, you know, there's level parity. Ace are actually ahead on XP, so that's something that they'll have going for themselves. Second Immortal, you know, on the field now, and suffice it to say, I'd be continually surprised if Ace are able to take this one. Hyde, though, getting jumped on. Pulse Bomb. Force out that shield.
Self-shield there. There's the Mars for the sustain, but good. Surviving for a long time. The bunker drop saves himself and the rest of the teammate also back there. Rutch is the only one. There goes the door toss. They're trying to break in here, but does not find the target as still building onto that second Pulse Bomb now.
Wow, okay, yeah, that self-shield Uther really kind of starting off the fight in a bad way for Tempest. Now they are going to be a little bit down as Ace look for their perhaps their second.
Ooh, way too late. You should have known there's a Hanzo there. And Gamey taking too much damage. Does survive, does get out, providing that shield for Leoric is not going to be in time.
Yeah, Rush not quite so lucky. Ace trying to back off now, but this is where Tempest will look for their revenge. Sign tossing forward.
Nothing else to initiate here as the bunker is the only one left. Has the arrow in 6 seconds. That can be a big tool. Taking down Tracer if it lands on Tracer directly.
And Witcher's been really playing up front. So, I mean, honestly, you expect that from Tracer. Recall's pretty good, but you get hit by that arrow, and it's not going to be quite as fun. It'll be about as fun as the face on Witcher's Cloud Mount.
Here, there's Sanctification dropped for the perfect space. And here the target is on lockdown part. Even the Divine Shield has to be used. Is he going to be saved? Witcher actually goes down from that basic attack. Hero finds himself so far away from Hanzo.
Lockdown.
Their mission.
Oh, lockdown.
The only mission. Oh, look at lockdown. He's away. He's trying to hide away from the vision of Hero, so he doesn't want to go down. And he finds a kill, actually.
The turnaround, lockdown.
That was like an FPS moment where lockdown was trying to hide behind.
He gets the fadeaway headshot, man. They're trying to take him out, but he might look down. Definitely not out there. Still firing headshots and lockdown. I feel like the outcome of that, you could have predicted it, but it still looks flashy.
That was a big low moment, of course. Their Ace, they have a mission. Is to find and kill that Hanzo.
Okay, you know how you kill the Hanzo, G-Clef? You know, I've got a really sick strat here.
How?
In the ban phase. You kill him.
Yes.
You take him out right there.
Yes.
Zero counterplay. Nothing you can do. No way that the HGC balance team will ever be able to stop you from just hitting that ban button.
I think, I think you're on a good point there.
You know, I'm not an expert.
Yeah. They banned ETC. Of course, Game 1 ETC was pretty powerful.
To be fair, yeah, you got to ban the ETC, but
yeah, signed ETC. Yeah, basically the MVP. But lockdown's Hanzo, man.
I tell ya.
If you can't kill on Hanzo, that's what happens. You go in to a blank spot and then you find yourself nowhere alone. When all of your teammates dead. Oof. There's a holy ground. Does not really isolate anyone.
You've
No
started to take
repair up.
damage.
And Witcher is trying to look for his angle coming in. There's the Blaze. Going in for that stun, but going to do some damage. May not be a keep actually. They want to toss in a few more damage as a single more damage will take out the
There
keep.
we
Immortal
go.
goes down, but they want to make this into a trade. They do have 13. There's a holy ground. Nami looking for his change. Material is stunned. Sanctification does drop, and that pulse bomb misses from going into the bunker.
Oh,
Great
no.
bunker drop from good. This is going to be multiple kills. Cheerio does come in, but the divine shield actually blocks all that. Tempest used all the protective tools perfectly against Ace in this team fight.
They are going to pick up, well, I guess not quite an ace, the survival there by Greymane, but he will be cold and alone back in his own base. Wow, you know, the saying goes, the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Well, here it is not the first immortal that matters, but it is the second immortal that gets to keep, and in fact, the core to follow.
They are low in HP, so they're coming in for
much.
the defense, but the bunker,
the bunker
value,
micro!
there's
The
the armor,
value!
they're getting all the armors, and that's going to be enough damage, more than enough to be, in fact, they have 2 dead. Finally, mission accomplished, Hanzo dead, but you lose your core, and that's going to be game 2 going to Tempest again. 2-0 now, and I think it's about time. You banned that Hanzo, and bunker values were real. They
Nice way to finish.
I think these 2 bunkers at the last moment were the best bunkers I've seen.
Oh, by
in,
far.
HGC Korea only, of course. Super worth. It was kind of like Sanctification in a way.
You know, kind of, I mean, obviously the last bunker was kind of for style points. It looks cool, and it's a nice way to end the game. But the bunker before that, and really, like you said, all of the defensive measures just, I mean, used picture perfectly. You don't get much of a better team fight than that. Yes, there are mitigating factors. You could say, well, they're ahead. They've got, you know, better, you know, champions for that kind of playstyle, or heroes for the playstyle. But for those bunkers, man, good game to play Blaze.
Yep, and when you're on that, when you have that pulse bomb on you, just go into that bunker and you'll be safe. You get that plus armor right when you exit too. You get to throw that flame. It does like 200 damage maybe. That's not really too much of a damage, but even when Tyrael wanted to do that death damage with the trade value, Divine Shield came in. His height says, nope, you're not gonna get a kill, and that was basically a team wipe there. And for a second, Ace had an okay start. They won the bottom lane team fight. Uther starting from the Uther that into 3 last one Cassia there, but they couldn't really snowball all that because they didn't really go for their camp on their own camp. I thought they had a good timing to do so when they hit 10th first, but Tempest was able to catch all that up because they had Hanzo. They had the wave clear. They had the immortal damage. It was insane, and we're going to talk a lot more about what's going to happen in the series. I think we're going into a quick series, guys. But here, we're going to take a short break after game number 2. We'll be back in game with game 3 in 4 minutes.